Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Well, please. I have a brief statement here before taking your questions. I'd like to touch briefly on two important issues. First, the deadline for Americans paying their taxes, April 15th, will be upon us in less than a week. April 15th is also the date that the Congress is required to complete work on a budget resolution. Tens of millions of Americans will meet their deadline. They'll pay their taxes, even if they have to spend the entire weekend figuring out how much they owe. But will Congress meet its deadline for the budget resolution? We hear the same tattered old argument that the American people are undertaxed. Well, the American people are not undertaxed, but their patience is overtaxed. Today, taxes take the same share of the gross national product as during the 70s. But government spending as a share of gross national product has soared up and up. So I urge the Congress to forget about raising taxes and concentrate instead on controlling spending and putting government's financial house in order. And that'll help our economy and continue the best economic expansion this country's seen in a quarter of a century. Second issue is aid to the Nicaraguan freedom fighters. Two events in recent weeks have underscored the urgency of our aid request to the democratic resistance. First, the Nicaraguan communists sent troops into Honduras on a search and destroy mission to kill off the freedom fighters. Second, the Sandinista communists torpedoed the Contadora talks conducted with 12 other Latin countries who seek peace in the region. And these events demonstrate that the Nicaraguan communists will never make peace with their neighbors or with their own people unless the pressure on them increases. The communists must realize that they cannot crush their opponents, and our assistance can ensure that the freedom fighters are not crushed. That assistance will give Nicaraguans a choice, and it will give diplomacy a chance. 4 out of 5 Central American countries now have democratic governments, democracies that our bipartisan policies help to bring about. We must stick to this bipartisan strategy, and this coming week, the House of Representatives will be called upon to maintain that tradition. Action now is essential. We cannot afford further delay. This proposal must not be held hostage to any other legislation. Through its vote next week, the House can show the world that the United States is determined to defend freedom in Central America. The Soviet Union, Fidel Castro, and the Sandinistas are determined to make the region a communist enclave. Well, we must not, and we will not, permit that to happen.